Have you ever experienced enormous stress, overwhelm, or even a burnout? Or maybe you know someone, career-driven individuals or service-based entrepreneurs or business owners who are constantly stressed out. Many people have an unhealthy emotional relationship with their bosses or clients or their businesses and with their money. And since everything we feel gets reflected in our energetic field, we often become energetically exhausted and even physically sick and have no idea how to utilize or protect our energy. That's why today we'll talk about how to create and keep energetic boundaries and release the overwhelm.
Grow your wealth, live on your terms.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Conversations with Experts, the show that connects you with experts in different areas of life. Our intention is to help you be your best self and create your best life. I'm Millen Livis, the host of the show and international holistic financial independence mentor. If you love the idea of financial independence and freedom of choice, if you want to work because you want to, not because you have to, and not to worry about money in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, then you've got to plan your way to financial independence now. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You heard this before, right? So I invite you to start by downloading my wealth planner for free. And this is the link, Dare to Change Life /wealth planner. And work your way through it right away. And if you want to have real-time support, join my free Facebook group, Wealth Building for Powerful Women. And here's the link for that group. All right, now we are ready to move on to our topic today, which is creating and keeping energetic boundaries and releasing the overwhelm. And my fabulous guest today is Jennifer Urezzio. And Jennifer, welcome. Make sure you unmute yourself. And so happy to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate that. I think you're muted.
There you go. No matter how you hit the buttons, it doesn't unmute. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to talk about this subject.
I know that you're very passionate about this subject, and I think it's very, very important. But let me start with introducing you first, right? Officially introducing you. So Jennifer Urezzio is the founder of Soul Language, a paradigm that puts tangibility to soul. So a conscious connection can be established to enable crystal clear decisions for success. Jennifer is also a master intuitive and the author of 2 best-selling books. Currently, she has trained over 30 practitioners worldwide in soul languages. As a result of this, now there are over 5,000 individuals all over the world connecting to their soul languages. So again, I'm super excited to have you as a guest today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be here and really excited. And I can't wait to talk about this subject because I think a lot of people don't even notice that their energetic boundary is being kind of violated. And that wreaks havoc in their world, their life, and of course it impacts their business.
Jennifer, I definitely want to talk about the energetic boundaries and how to release the overwhelm. But knowing that you are expert in soul languages, that you basically invented this paradigm, could you please share with us, how did you discover soul languages? What is the story behind this story?
Well, I was asking some really big questions like, how do we connect with ourselves? How do we connect with the divine? How do we be closer to that? And how do we really find the community we love and we support? And I was asking these big questions and I got some big answers, which was soul language, which helps us put tangibility to the soul and the soul of our business so we can create a conscious connection, so we can get real clear communication and really gain the access and the wisdom within us instead of separate from us.
Amazing, just amazing. So basically it was like a download for you, right?
Exactly. Each one of us has 3 core energies of soul. We call these languages. Your mission, how you fuel that mission, and then your soulful personality. And so that becomes our mild marker of consciousness, right? We're not putting consciousness in everything we're doing. We put separation or pain and suffering, which creates pain and suffering.
Yeah, and the irony is that we do it ourselves, right? It's just somehow the human nature is like that. So we have to go through this experience to come back home and understand our true nature, because I like the expression that we don't have the soul. We are the soul that has a body. I love that.
And I love that. And then what I love about understanding your soul is it's that part of you that's never been hurt, it's never felt pain, that knows it's whole and complete. And when you start operating from there, then you're creating something really powerful. You're operating from the place of being unlimited rather than being separate. And that creates more bliss, more peace, more wonderfulness. Like, for example, if I wasn't connected to my soul right now, my head would be exploding because it's supposed to be a quiet, serene background today. And the family is not working with me today. So it's really about understanding, like, and coming from that place of wholeness and completeness and knowing that you're going to be safe no matter what. And a lot of people don't know how to kind of activate that or be with that.
Thank you for making it real for us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, but today we decided we're going to talk about energetic boundaries. So could you just start with defining what are energetic boundaries?
The best way to describe an energetic boundaries is just to take a moment and think about standing in a supermarket line. And did you ever stand in a supermarket line and someone get really close to you and you're like, dude, you're in my dance space, right? That's what the energetic boundary is. When we don't understand our energetic boundaries, when we don't keep our energy to ourselves, then what we're doing is it's really hard to process what we feel or what we think, because it's like we're mixing up all of our cake batter with someone else's cake batter. And we really don't know what cake batter we are. And so it gets really hard to act on our truth, to act on what we want to accomplish and be. And so often people will go, I'm really sad today and I can't figure out why, because everything's going great. What's happening is you're mixed up in someone else's energetic boundary and you can't process what they feel because it's not yours. And so energetic boundaries are so important to remaining clarity, to creating what you want, to taking action on your knowing and your truth.
You just answered my question, because I wanted to ask you, like, why do we need these boundaries? So it's very clear. And you know what, it's interesting because sometimes I tell my husband, because we don't have pets at home and we don't have kids anymore at home. So sometimes I tell him, you know what, I feel that I need my space, right? So that's what because even with the loved ones, it's not only with the dude in the supermarket or, right, or in a subway. It's even with the loved ones sometimes, even with the family right now, right?
It's actually even harder with family and loved ones, right? Because the dudes in the supermarket, you don't have any attachment, right? But with family members, some of those energetic attachments and boundaries, you think they're yours because they're so familiar, until you do this simple little exercise, which is you ask yourself how you feel, 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. You get a number. Then you take your left hand, put it on your right shoulder, and ask again. And you'll notice you'll go up or you'll go down. Okay, that means in some way, shape, or form, you've been sharing some sort of energy stream with someone else. And it can be so subtle. So whenever you're feeling a sense of loss or a sense of like confusion or you feel unclear, you do that simple little tool. And then when you're this way, you can go, okay, what do I really want to do here? Or what am I really truly feeling? You'll start to be able to sense and understand when it's just your energy or when it's you're mixed up in a ball of goo and energy of someone else's.
So what you just described, that's how we become aware of the boundaries. So that's how we actually create the energetic boundaries.
That's actually how you be aware that you're mixed up in someone else's boundaries or someone else's energies. What's key to keeping your energetic boundaries and creating them is looking at what we call your central energetic channel. Sometimes it corresponds to the chakras, but it goes from your tailbone to the top of your head. Now, that central energetic channel, if you close your eyes, is supposed to feel and look like a piece of uncooked spaghetti. Not brittle, but just straight. Okay? If it looks like a piece of cooked spaghetti, then you're kind of wrapping up in everyone else's boundaries. And what's happening is you're not keeping this solid form, which means that you're in wholeness and completeness, right? So it's a very easy tool just to tune in and go, okay, what does it feel like? What does it look like? And if it looks like a piece of cooked spaghetti, the easy go-to tool is to use your body's lack of free will to help realign it. So do you want to try and see what happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna say the words. Your job is to kind of get on the bus with me. Ready?
All right. Should I close my eyes?
Yes, that would be
Okay.
great. Ready? Okay.
Yes.
Divine intelligence, align body and soul. Align your earth star with your heaven star. And just tell me what you notice and how you feel.
You know what, to my surprise, because it's not always the case, but to my surprise right now, it feels like it's uncooked spaghetti. I feel like all my chakras are kind of aligned and I feel grounded, I feel centered, which is a nice feeling because it's not always the case.
Right, exactly. And you can do that at any time. And when you're like that piece of uncooked spaghetti, what you're going to do is you're not going to push pull with energy because you have everything you need right within you. And nothing is, you don't need anyone else's energy to do anything else. And you don't need to give your energy to anyone else for them to do it. It allows you to be the individualization of whatever you call your higher power. Then you can have real intimate conversations and relationships and discussions with people based on your truth, based on your beliefs, and based on what's in your greatest good, rather than all of these codependent weird things we do all the time.
So Jennifer, I want to ask you some very practical question. For example, someone is sitting in the office with his or her boss, and it's a conversation about the raise, and the boss is really basically just not listening, not acting in a respectful way, and the energy is, like the emotions rise, and energy is not really calm in the office. How people can handle situations like that in the moment, like when they don't have the space, they don't they cannot say to the boss like, hey, just move
Step
away
off.
from
Yeah. Well,
so what can be done?
Yeah, so that's all energetics, right? So if you put something different into the energy field between you and your boss, he could potentially or she could potentially act differently. But what's really key here is you want to feel safe. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take a deep breath and you want to ask your divine intelligence to fill you with safety, to fill you with the knowing that you're safe. Then you want to ask your divine intelligence to align the mind to follow the heart. so you can speak with your heart. Then you want to do the Glenda the Good Witch bubble. Glenda the Good Witch from The Wizard
What
of
is it?
Oz.
Say it again, please.
Glenda the Good Witch bubble. Do you ever see The Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Okay, you know
Okay.
Glenda that comes down in that
Yeah.
pink, beautiful
All right.
bubble. Okay, so you want to enclose yourself in Glenda the Good Witch bubble. What that does is anything that's negative comes at you and it slides right off. Okay, so he's just sitting there going, blah, 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 and you're like, doo, doo, doo. You're aligned, and you're like, yeah, it's not going to impact me. Another thing you want to do also is you could do a scooped mirror. So you can imagine that there's a mirror, right? Mirror side out in front of you. So he's literally talking to his own reflection. And what that really allows you to do is it allows you to say and do things you wouldn't normally do because you're not caught up in his tension. Because you know that what he thinks, what he feels isn't really impacting your safety. Safety is within, right? I remember several years ago, I was listening to a talk, and since I'm on the floor, my legs are falling asleep. And this woman was talking about she had a very successful business, and her husband, because she had a very successful business, in his job could do whatever he wanted because his livelihood wasn't dependent on his job. And so he would say things and do things that were in alignment with his truth. And what that allowed to happen was people all over the company would request him on a team because he was always speaking the truth and they knew that they could trust him, right? So when you're aligned, it allows you to speak your truth and know that you're safe to do so, and know that you're supported to do so. Know that everything will be okay. And that's what keeping your energetic boundaries is all about. It's about staying in your safe zone internally so you can say and do and be on purpose and know that you're being loved and supported and provided for.
Beautiful. Let me ask you about the different scenarios. So we have a lot of entrepreneurs in our audience. And as you know, sometimes clients are not really our aligned clients. And yet we commit to working with them at the beginning. Maybe we haven't recognized that they're not really our ideal clients, so to speak. And when situation arises and this client is unhappy and blames, for example, blames you for the situation that she or he is in and things like that, how would you handle the boundaries in this scenario? Would you
Okay,
just
so
share?
most people aren't going to like this, but I'm going to say it. You fire the client. Okay, you got to, I'm going to give you additional tools, but there's going to come to a time where you're going to have to say no to picking clients because you're picking them from a place of lack. Every time you pick a client from a place of lack, it's going to wind up being that type of client. So that's the overall tool to start, and I'll give you a tool about how to know your ideal client. But the one thing you want to do is, again, you want to fill yourself with safety, and you want to ask yourself this question. If I knew I was safe, if I knew I was provided, if I knew I had deep love for myself and deep love for them, what would I say? What would I do? What would I express here? The main thing is you don't want to, A, take on the blame, B, apologize in an powerful or disempowering way for you. You want to hold your ground and say, I apologize that you feel that way. Let's see how we can start on new territory. Or let's talk about what you feel is missing. Or my favorite is like, listen, we talked about all of these structures up front, right? So you also want to decide who's your ideal client. And I have a very simple tool. So the Peanuts characters from Charles Schwartz are my tools. So I see when I'm looking at a client, I go, okay, God, soul, who is this client remind me of in the Peanuts? So my client are Sally's and Linus's. They're not a Charlie Brown because that's victim energy and I don't like them. We'll just won't get along. I used to take on Lucy's, but Lucy's always going to pull that football until I decided, like, why am I picking Lucy's? Like, what am I doing here? And it was my little phrase of lack there, right? So you want to come up with an energetic tell for yourself about who your ideal client is. You don't have to worry at the moment about, like, who are they? What do they do? You know, are they 18 to 25? Are they happy? Are they household? You don't have to worry about that. You just tune in and go, okay, let's come up with a system. So when I'm talking to potential clients, I know right away if they're an ideal client. And that way you can be present in those discovery sessions, but you don't offer. And that is going to draw into you your ideal client because you're setting up an energetic boundary that's bringing you stuff instead of setting up energetic boundaries through lack.
I love this so much. It's basically our experiences in life really reflect from what place we make the decision to have this experience, right? Yeah, if it's the decision was made from a place of luck, whether it's working with this client or not, whether it's accepting this job or not, whether it's investing in this opportunity or not, if we come from a place of lack or fear or scarcity or deficiency or I'm not good enough, somehow it will get back to you. Somehow you will not
Totally.
have a good experience, right?
No, it's like knowing that chocolate is bad for you and eating, like knowing that you're going to break out in hives and eating the chocolate. Like, why would you do that? Right? You deserve to have a very successful business with clients that you adore and that adore you back. And the only way that's going to happen is if you choose that first from within and then take those actions based on that. Nothing else. No right marketing, all of the things. Yeah, those are added tools. But if you don't have that internally, you can have the best marketing and still not be in love with your clients or your business.
Those are tactics, right?
Yeah.
Tactics cannot really lead your way. It should be what you add in addition to kind of like a energetic vision that you want to create for your business or for your relationship. So
Beautifully said.
another scenario that I would like to ask you, since I really love how you bring this into very tangible terms for us. So how would you consult or advise someone who has really a bad experience in terms of making money, keeping money, investing money? How could they use this concept of energetic boundaries, of making decisions from a place of power, right? So could you just describe or give us some tips for this scenario?
Yeah, I think first of all, you want to start to understand and discover what's with you and money. Like, it's just a relationship. Money doesn't have free will. It operates on what you're putting into that relationship. So it feels like the energetic direction with money in those cases is you're putting in either lack or abandonment or just waiting for the shoe to drop, right? So let's talk about and kind of rework what you're so good at. Rework those that relationship. And then you want to kind of just play a game with it, right? Like, okay, so if I'm setting the intention of how I want the money to move, right? Let's follow the money. Imagine that. Like, I want money to come to me. What do I get to send into that energy field between me and money? Because it's not lack. It's not like, oh my God, I got to chase the money. It's not like, oh my God, I need this. It's like, hey, money just comes. Or there's always enough and more than enough. Or me and money are cool. You know, a friend of mine once said a couple years ago, Jen, there's no emotion with money. And anytime that we put this emotion attached to money, we're going to get that pain and suffering back, right? So let's just start easy. What emotion have you attached with money? Is it love? Is it abundance? Is it this great resource from source? Or is it suffering, pain? Oh my God, I need it. Or there's just never enough. So those are some energetics that you can start to change right here, right now.
Beautiful. I like this expression. We can only see without what we have within. So
Beautiful.
if we feel if we feel abundant, if we truly feel grateful for what we have, if we notice what works, and not constantly being and talking about things that are not working, and how unlucky we are and how hard it is and stuff like that. So things will energetically will get aligned. And I guess that's what you mean when you really preserve your energetic alignment, like we talked about this uncooked spaghetti, and you feel aligned, then you really don't need to chase anything, because things just flow, because your the flow of abundance flows through everybody, right? It's just the blockages that we create with our emotional attachments, with our maybe not good enough, or expectations and things like that, that we create the blockages. That's what blocks it.
Yeah.
I have another question for you, because I know that you often use word, because we spoke before, you often use word empath. And so could you please define for us what is an empath, and how being an empath affects the energetic boundaries, how they can, people who are refer to themselves, or other refer to them as empath, how they can handle this energy.
Yeah, an empath is someone who psychically, intuitively feels another person's emotions, right? And so often someone will go, "Oh, I feel like a little achy here." And then you realize, like, oh, my best friend was like, had indigestion, right? It's someone who has a sense energetically of how people feel within them, and they feel it themselves. So, why that kind of screws up energetic boundaries is because if you're not clear about what you're feeling and what someone else is feeling, you can't process anybody else's feelings but your own. And so often people are like, I feel this or I feel that, and they can't get rid of it or they can't shift it because it's not their own to shift. And so that's what, being an empath, and a lot of people are empathic and they don't even know it. When I was younger, I would go into a casino and I would play 4 different slot machines all at once because I was just scooping up the gambler energy. And I didn't know I was empathic, right? So, the first thing you get to notice is if you go into a crowded room and your feeling state changes, or if you're on the phone with someone and your feeling state changes, right? It's not feeling compassionate about what that person's feeling. It's actually feeling weighed down by what they're feeling. And then you get to go, okay, so guess what? I'm empathic. And let's start to build new tools and understanding about how to utilize that. Because it's a great gift. But you want to go, oh, that's theirs, this is mine. Okay, now I have an understanding or a sense, but I don't have to participate it in my own energy field. I can let it go.
Love that. And I agree with you. More and more people discover or uncover that they have these empathic tendencies, and they can feel other people's energy. And unless they know how to create these energetic boundaries, it could be really draining and very, very tough and uncomfortable to deal with other people's energies, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
thank you so much. I
Thank you.
love you. You clearly an expert, and we have a little little friend in the back. I think it's your new puppy, right?
Yes, that's hard, everyone. Yay.
Yes, so cute. So I can see, and I hope everybody else can see how deeply knowledgeable you are and experienced you are, and I think. it's such a gift to learn from you.
Thank
So
you.
could you please tell us how people can contact you, can learn from you?
Sure, they can contact me at soullanguage.us. We have a special gift called at soullanguage.us/empath. I answer my own phone. I pick up my own email. There's a lot of free audios, a lot of groovy stuff there. And they can also join my Facebook group called Spiritual Renegades. So I
Which
hope
I'm
they'll.
part of.
That's what I love. So I thank you so much for interviewing to me, and thank you for being gracious about the craziness today. You know, being an entrepreneur is
Going with the flow.
going with the flow. And I think that's also about being connected, right? Knowing that everything will work out as sometimes the house is falling down around you.
That's very true. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for watching this interview. I hope you will take advantage of the opportunity that Jennifer offers to you. Thank you for your time today. And I look forward to seeing you next week, same place, same time. And we will talk with another wonderful guest expert that I always find somehow in the ether. Thank you. Enjoy your time.
Thank
Bye
you.
now. Bye.